Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red this beautiful sunny Thursday morning. Matthew chapter 21, verse 24. We begin a new focus this morning. Jesus' authority is challenged. And in 24, it says, Jesus says to them, that's in response to a question they'd asked. Jesus said to them, I will ask you one thing, which if you tell me, I will tell you by what authority I do these things. So I will also ask you one thing. And so Jesus is in a position now where the scribes and the Pharisees have come to him and they're challenging him with regards to who gave him the authority in order to be able to do the things that he's done. And the things that he was doing was he was healing, miracles, signs, wonders, but also the things that he was saying. He was teaching them, love your enemy, pray for those who persecute you, and them senses of doing things that were opposite to normal kingdom activity. And so they want an explanation as to who gave him the right to go and do those things. And Jesus is seeing, as it were, the conundrum that he's in, and also the trap that they're setting for him, because they want to undermine him in the eyes of the people. And they want to just discredit him, because that's what the enemy seeks to do. He seeks to discredit. So they want justification. And the question is, will Jesus give it to them? Well, his response to them is a really interesting one. He says to them, I will also tell you by what authority I do these things if you do something for me. And that sense of, I'm not going to fall into your trap. I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to justify yourself first. And then having clarified that uncertainty, I will then respond to you and give you, as it were, an explanation as to who it is that's given me this authority. And so Jesus is refusing to get into their web of deceit. He's refusing to get drawn into that deception. He will not set himself up. And you know, in a court of law, most people incriminate themselves by the things they say. But Jesus is mindful of the things he says. In fact, there was a time when he said this, I only say the things the Father says, and I only do the things the Father does. So that sense of only saying what the Father says is really important, because when God speaks, God uses words, and the words that God uses are words that have creative life in them. When God acts, and in his action, there is the reality of the creative life working through them. So God acts through what God says. So when God says, I sent the word into the world to save the world, he's saying that the provision of salvation, not just released from the judgment, the provision of salvation is realized through the creative life that's in the words that I say. And if that's true for God, that is also true for us, because we're made in God's image. So the words that we use will either reiterate the reality of the authority that we've got, or it will in effect bring about a destruction that will cause people to be, as it were, confused. Anyway, I'm going to have to finish. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.